Good evening and welcome into the number one Group of Five college football show in the history of the world. This is the Group of Five guys, and our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode, of course, presented by FanDuel, we're going to talk wide receiver U, tight end U, a little bit about the La Tech situation, and plenty more. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of Five guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other. We was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Troy has won. It's been a winner, and it's a special place. So it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, did you get your taxes complete? Tax deadline today. You got about 2 hours.
No, we filed for an extension at the Murphy household. Need more
Really?
time.
Well, you got so many streams. You got so much money coming in from all the different directions that you have to file for extensions. That's why you need a tax guy. Me, on the other hand, Jeff, I just go on turbotax.com, type in a couple of things, type in the social. But
it's not the fact that there's so much money coming in. It's the fact that there's so much money.
Figure out where it all went.
Out.
I know,
with
dude.
these gosh darn gas prices, Sprouse. I mean, it is. I've never seen anything quite like it.
I'm coming about $80 a pop when I fill up.
I know
now, and I'm not in an expensive place either. I mean, we're still under $4.
We're right there at $3.89, as I think is what I put in my tank.
Yeah, dude, it's rough. It's rough out here, but we get a nice refund now that we've got 3 kids. You end up getting you get the child credit. But dude, the whole thing to me is so stupid. Like, I've done all the different ways. Like, I've done TurboTax and just done it myself, which that's what I did this year. I've gone to the local CPA, hotshot business guy. Gone to the H&R Block place. I've even gone and sat with the old man at the Walmart at which one is that? Jackson Hewitt. And all they're doing is just going through the same program as TurboTax and you're going through. I mean, they're just telling them type in but the amazing thing to me is it's like, you really, why do you even have to do it? You know what I'm saying? It's just such a racket. Those GIFs and memes where it's like, well, if you know how much I owe, can't you just, it's like, well, how do I know how much I owe? Well, you just guess. And then it's like, well, what if I'm wrong? You'll get arrested. But it's like, but you know what it is? Like, why are we even, send me the refund or just do it right all year,
Yeah, or you could just make it super simple.
Just not pay.
I mean, you could do that, but look, Uncle Sam's going to get his money, so he'll end up them garnishing your wages. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that it's that complicated, honestly, means that the entire system is broken. I don't mind paying my fair share. Sprouts have no problem doing it, but the fact of the matter is, we have no idea where our tax dollars are going, and I would say the vast majority of it is probably wasted. That's where I get in. To a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, it's the same thing when you, at times, back before NIL and all this stuff started, you used to wonder, where's my donation money going? We ain't gotten a facility upgrade in a decade. Where's this going? It's very similar. Very, very similar. But anyway, I know we'll probably keep this show a little shorter tonight. Jeff's got to watch the Warriors in the play-in game. I, of course, put myself through the just misery of trying to watch some Miami Heat. I mean, I'm about sick of these play-ins. And this is the first time Miami hadn't won it in several years. I mean, the Heat have been in the playoffs, I think, every year but one, even since LeBron left. And then before LeBron got there, like the Heat have been a playoff team. They only been in the league since, I think, 88. I mean, they've been a playoff team all but like 2 or 3 seasons. Then
pretty incredible. But so Bam didn't have 85 last night or whatever.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to get it. I don't know if you saw my tweet. You knew Tyler Hero was going to jack up 40 3-pointers and just, make a few. It'll look all good. You're like, holy cow, this guy's amazing. And then he'll freaking miss all the other ones. But Bam, the guy's been on like a weird PR campaign after he got the 83, like because people have been crapping on it a little bit. But then he's been talking about it for like 2 weeks in press conferences. Like talking about how everybody's got to guard me now. It's like, do it. Give me that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was going to say is, they don't have to worry about you, Bam, in the playoffs. So
no, they don't, especially when LaMelo Ball. Well, and this year he had a reason to disappear because LaMelo Ball had arguably the dirtiest play in NBA history. I mean, that was a full-blown like judo leg sweep.
It was bad.
I mean, that was bad. And to get no call at all, and I mean, Bam goes out. Now, you could also argue, like, come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? This is the playoffs, Like, I think a lot of guys play through
put him in the wheelchair, wheel him back out like Paul Pierce.
Wheel him back out there after he poops himself like Paul Pierce did. But yeah, dude, I'm glad. I mean, it's not like they were going to win a series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's how the
finally
Warriors,
in the mix for a lottery. It's like, put us out of our misery. Because the thing about the Heat is they had the one season where they made the play-in, and Jimmy Butler just had the playoff for the ages. Took them to the finals, and everybody just thinks that they can replicate that year in and year out.
No.
First of all, Jimmy Butler ain't coming through them doors anymore. Second of all, every one of them players is a year or two older, 3 years older now. I mean, Bam's not a young pup anymore either. So anyway, who the Dubs even playing?
Got the Clippers.
And the Clippers are still wheeling out a team full of freaking
Kawhi
old
looks
men.
like he's playing tonight.
Well, he load managed half the year.
I was just saying, I think he's played a total of 25 games this year.
Isn't that something?
Just
What's
wait,
going on here?
Sprouts. Just wait. You're going to start seeing this in college football.
We saw it in college basketball this year.
This load management, play, so many games, and until we get some of these new rules and regulations in place, and we're good.
Well, and especially if you continue to expand the playoff. I mean, you already have, the coaches that are down playing conference championship games and all those things. So you'll start seeing, hey, we're 10-0.
Yeah.
Why are we gonna, we're in. Like we're locked because especially if you're an SEC or a Big Ten team, because your last 2 games will be, another top 25 team. So if you lose, you're fine. And then, we'll see what happens. But anyway, Jeff, La Tech record-breaking exit fees to get out of Conference USA. So apparently they will not play 20 games this year. They will just play the standard season. Exit fee more than UTEP paid $8 million to leave Conference USA to go to the Mountain West. La Tech more than $8 million. The actual numbers undisclosed from everything I read. And to give you some context on this, when North Texas, UAB, FAU, UTSA, when all them left a couple years ago to go to the American, none of them paid more than $3 million.
Wow.
So Conference USA cashing in with this La Tech exit. And, I wanted to bring this up because the MAC and Conference USA tend to get disrespected. They tend to be sort of like everybody goes to the Mountain West, and now they'll be saying that about the Pac-12. They'll be saying the Pac-12 and the American are far and away, the top quote unquote group of 6 conferences. And then they'll say, well, the Sun Belt, it's not as top heavy, but it's a good league. And I agree with those things. But the MAC gets disrespected like it's some kind of low-level conference all the time. And so does Conference USA. In Conference USA, when you look at it, it's like, look at all those teams I just mentioned that left Conference USA and have had pretty good success in the American. I mean, hell, North Texas was a couple scores away from making the playoff last year.
Yeah. I mean, I just wonder how much more are we going to continue to see athletic departments? I mean, I don't know what La Tech's financial situation looks like, but $8 million to get out. I assume you had to pay entry fees to get into the Sun Belt. Does that move really bolster your position from a, I guess, on the field standpoint, from a making the playoff standpoint, and honestly from a, revenue standpoint? I don't necessarily think so. I mean, unless they've significantly upgraded the Sun Belt TV deal, I don't think it's that much better. I don't know.
Well, where I go with it is, again, to talk about the taxes and all the things, is it's, all these schools, I'm not saying La Tech per se, but, our alma mater has done this, where you got these schools that are, in the negative all the time. They sell no merch. They get no fans in the stands. They don't have the TV deal. But then when a buyout or something like this comes about, all of a sudden they got that.
Yeah.
They have that. It's like these politicians, right? You can't fix the potholes in the road, but we got the money to throw a rally, or we got the money to have a big ball, black tie event. Got that. Got plenty of money to, house whoever we want to house in hotels and stuff, but we can't fix potholes. It's like this, dude. We can't upgrade the facilities. We can't pay our roster NIL. Oh, yeah. 10 million on a buyout? Oh, yeah, we have that. 8 million to leave the conference? Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, I just wonder the decision-making process from the athletics department. Like what is, I don't know. I don't see the return on investment. Maybe it's a longer play, but heck, if you just take the last 5 years of whatever, everybody's going to shift around again. So what are you going to pay another exit fee when, the Big 12 and ACC finally get kicked out of the club? Then we're just going to be reshifting. I know, I can't wait either. But I don't know. I don't really see the benefit, to be honest, of it. Like, dominate Conference USA.
Yeah.
I don't think you go to the Sun Belt. Now, I will say this. I like that they're getting back for the Monroe, Louisiana,
I like that.
Southern Miss matchups. Like, I do appreciate that. You got some older rivalries, games like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like it for that purpose. And that's why the Sun Belt to me has been a good league, because of those things, the traditions, the kind of older school rivalry type games, regionality. But, when you look at Conference USA, again, the Conference USA gets disrespected, but every time they go head to head, I mean, Jacksonville State does just fine. Kennesaw State does just fine. You know what I mean? I don't mind the move. I like the move, but what I don't like is the disrespect towards Conference USA I mean, dude, it was 10 years, 12 or 13 years ago now, when, I mean, you would have thought, what an upgrade when Middle left the Sun Belt for Conference USA. I mean, we were having celebrations. Couldn't wait to put that Conference USA patch on the shoulder because of the narrative, because of how much better it would make our program.
Had the field totally shifted. Ready to go.
Totally shifted. But it's like you got some of the same programs, and you have, again, North Texas. Yeah, they were playing. I think they played for a conference championship in Conference USA. Matter of fact, we went to it against UTSA. right before they left, and they've had success in the American. UTSA's had a pretty good amount of success in the American. FAU, UAB, Rice, not so much. But I, I don't know, man. I think Conference USA is fine.
Yeah, I like the additions that they brought in. I think it makes sense for UTEP to move on just from a regionality standpoint. That was a long ass flight for everybody involved. I mean, Liberty coming in, Delaware, like you have some good programs.
Yeah.
I'm just of the belief, and maybe this is old school me. I don't want to go anywhere unless I'm dominating where I'm currently at. And it seems like all these teams that are posturing for the future of an unknown future, quite frankly, making these decisions, but it's like nobody's really just completely, I would say outside of Boise, has just been staunchly at the top year in and year out. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But give it a couple more years. Like if some of the teams stay, right? Like if you still have a Jack State and they're still performing the way that they're performing, if you still have a Kennesaw and they're doing what they're doing, if Sam Houston, kind of gets back on track, if Liberty gets back to the way they were, if Middle can get back to being a respectable program, then at that point you have, you have a really good conference at that point. So we'll see. I think they'll be just fine. Jeff, we need to talk about tight ends, and we need to talk about wide receivers. Before we do that, if you're watching live on X or on Facebook, make sure you go over to the YouTube live chat. There's always a pretty good live chat going on. It's pretty good interactions in there. We got a bunch of folks in there right now. Make sure you check that out. Jeff, tight ends, they're kind of difficult.
It was definitely way harder than receivers.
Yeah, I think so. Now, who do you go with? Like, again, as we've been doing these position U shows, like we've talked about 3 categories, right? Where maybe they have a quote unquote legend or two that have played the position. Maybe they're a school that's just constantly putting guys in the league. Maybe they're a school that nobody even in particular, you just think of them as, oh yeah, every time we play Western Kentucky, they got a damn good quarterback. Or anytime we play East Carolina, they got running backs. So where do you go when you think tight ends on this one?
I mean, off the top of my head, the first one I thought of is and more so of like recent years was Bowling Green with Harold Fannin. I'm going to pull up my notes here. Yeah, you had Harold Fannin. You had Quentin Morris, Tyler Higbee, obviously. So like you had, or no, Higbee was Western Kentucky.
No, Higbee's a Western Kentucky guy.
Yeah, but Quentin Morris, Harold Fannin Jr. to me were like top notch.
Yeah, see, I thought Bowling Green. I also thought, speaking of Bowling Green and speaking of Higbee, Western Kentucky, Western was one that I just immediately thought of, and Higbee, like top of the head, was the only one I could like. I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, but they just, to me, it just seems like they've always had solid tight end play there. It's almost like, I know we're a group of 5 show, but you think Iowa, right? You just like Iowa's just going to have some tight end, and you almost think of like who's the school that's doesn't have, maybe all the other skill guys all the time. They're probably going to have a tight end. They're probably going to have that 6'6", 6'5", 250-pound, not very fast, but catches everything, can block a little bit. It's kind of where I go with that.
Yeah. Another one I had was San Diego State, and nobody really super jumped off the page. But when you look through their history of players, you had a lot of NFL, good college players, and then some names that transitioned to the NFL: Gavin Escobar, Daniel Bellinger, Cahill Waring. Like you had guys that had long-standing, may not have been, Hall of Fame NFL tight ends, but drafted made rosters, played for multiple years. Like, that's production on a regular basis. You know, you got 2018, 2016, 2010. So, I mean, that's a 10-year span of 3 guys that were good college players and NFL players as well.
Yeah, I like it. Well, let's talk wide receivers. I mean, that's no offense to the tight ends here, but this is a more fun, unless you had anybody else.
No. There was a lot of schools that had one that was like great player, but then, it's just nobody could really get into the multiple like great tight ends, also NFL players, also like when you think that position, you think of that school. So
what? And then you have like a couple of them that played basketball at said college, so you couldn't go that route. Let's talk wide receivers. It's going to be similar to me. It's going to be similar to the quarterbacks. I feel like you could go anywhere that you could say is always putting out quarterbacks. They probably always have a wide receiver. I have one that's probably not top of the dome for anybody unless they're like a Group of 5 fan or a fan of this particular school. And then there's a couple that I feel like are obvious mainly for one guy, maybe 2 guys. And then there's a couple where you think like, okay, when they had that legendary quarterback, his number 1 receiver was pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
So for me though, wide receiver U is Western Michigan. For the production and the success that they ended up having. I mean, Corey Davis, high draft pick, decent NFL career. Greg Jennings, phenomenal NFL career. And then a little more recently, Sky Moore has a heck of a college career and still having a successful NFL career. So we've been saying like they got to have 3 guys, and I think Western Michigan checks those boxes.
Yeah, I agree. They were one that I had on my list. Another one I had, and it was definitely not as of recent years, but I think you have to. If you know college football, you got to go Marshall. Because obviously, in my opinion, I think the greatest receiver of all time in Randy Moss. But you also have Troy Brown, who had a great college career, great career with the Patriots. You had Darius Watts. You had Tommy Schuler, who I remember when we played Marshall was a great college wideout. So, I mean, that's 3 NFL guys. They had multiple other great college receivers as well throughout their history. So,
and Jeff, well, and think about all the guys you just said. Look at their quarterbacks: Chad Pennington, Byron Leftwich, Rakeem Cato, who was the one where we were playing against, prolific, dynamic quarterbacks, and that's their number 1 target.
Absolutely.
Do you know that Randy Moss and Jason Williams,
White
were
Chocolate,
in the same high school?
Isn't that crazy?
Can you imagine? I remember playing football. I don't even know if Jason Williams played football. Surely he did. I think they're from I think it's a small town, so they're probably, if you're athletic, you're playing everything. And typically, like, there's a self-selection bias. Like when you're that good, professional level, like chances are you're pretty damn good at anything athletic you do. Could you imagine though? Like you're in West Virginia and you go to play basketball and those 2 walk in the gym. I mean, my God, Jeff. I mean, could you imagine the lobs Jason Williams is throwing to Randy Moss?
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh, oof. Yeah. Now I thought, okay, you probably have all the West Coast ones.
I got another one that's not a West Coast one.
Who you got?
The Pirates of East Carolina, my friend.
Do you really?
I do. Because if you look back at their history, I mean, I feel like they always have a big receiver, even the last couple years, a guy that can just go make a play, right? But obviously Zay Jones, Justin Hardy, Dwayne Harris. I mean, that's 3 guys right there who were great college players, obviously had NFL careers. And they just always seem to have a guy that can go get it, even the last couple years. Now, I think they've struggled at the quarterback position, which doesn't help that production in college. But I think you have to go with their history of great college players, NFL players with good careers as well. I think Zay Jones is still playing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In the NFL. So, yeah, I think the Pirates deserve to be in there.
I think one that is, again, they have an argument for every position, but they're actually pretty good at the receiver spot. It's Boise again.
Yeah,
I mean, again, they literally every single. Honestly, the only position. Well, I don't know that there's a position. If you ask me off the top of my head, and this might be recency bias, but receiver would have been the one where I'm like, maybe not at receiver. But then you look at guys like Khalil Shakir, Cedric Wilson, even guys that they have now. And you're like, well, man, they got them too. I mean, they are just there was an article that came out, I think it came out today or last week, talking about that. Sorry guys, my ring light is really, it's like
it's
flickering on and off. I you know me, Jeff. I got a big problem with technology. But there's an article that came out that talked about, seeing less and less draft picks from the group of 5. And it was just highlighting, these guys that got drafted, all these guys we've been sitting here talking about, like they're going to get drafted in today's landscape, not from probably these schools. Corey Davis, Greg Jennings, Sky Moore probably end up in the Big Ten. We didn't talk about them yet, but we're going to talk about Fresno State, I'm sure. Devontae Adams probably doesn't stay at Fresno State. Randy Moss maybe, because he was supposed to go to Florida State anyway.
Yeah, he did go there, I think.
He did. He had some issues, I believe. So that's going to be the thing that sucks. And everybody's going to use that statistic in the coming years as to why the group of 5 doesn't deserve a spot at the playoff and all the things. And it's, again, let's just use a guy like Genty, because people, even though this was so recent, people still think like, if this happened in 26, he'd for sure be out of there. It's like, okay, but he was good at Boise as a sophomore and a junior too. So like, it's not like they just get good for that one season. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already on the draft boards. They're already talented guys. Now, maybe you could argue that, they maybe do get to play up against better talent, or maybe the weight program is better at some of these places, but not all of them. And Boise State and Fresno State and Marshall and places like that are top level group of 5 programs. Those weight programs and those coaching staffs and those practices are just as intense, if not more, than your mid-level P4 schools.
Yeah. Well, Spress, I got another one for you that, again, not as of like in the last 10 years per se, but if you look,
I know where you're going.
The previous 10, another new addition.
Ooh,
the Oregon State Beavers.
I did not know that you were going with that.
All right, let me just read this list off. Let me just start with the Ocho Cinco Chad Johnson.
Pretty good.
TJ Houshamazoud.
Pretty good.
You had Brandon Cooks. James Rogers. I remember him when I was in high school. Dynamic. I think he, if I'm not mistaken, he has the all-time all-purpose yards leading in Oregon State history. So, I mean, you just go off of those 3 or 4 alone. A ton of other great college players as well. I think I'm missing another big one. I can't think of it.
It's a good one.
But, yeah, I think Oregon State, I mean, again, you're talking 2007. Chet Johnson was 2000 when he was there. Brandon Cooks was 2011. So 20 years, but I had to go back a little bit.
It's a good one. That's a good one. I thought you were going to go Hawaii.
Man, I was going to, but I just don't.
Yeah, they don't really have the one guy. Like,
Best
they don't.
Is my guy.
Devon Best. I loved Devon Best on the Dolphins. Loved him. I have his autograph.
Skyline product.
I have a plaque with Devon Best's autograph on it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. But you're right. it was like I thought about all their quarterbacks and all the yards they threw for, and I'm like, well, who the hell did they throw them to? And then it's like, well, you don't really off the top of your head remember those guys outside of this.
Yeah.
But you got anybody else that you
A
had?
couple honorable mentions I had. I thought Memphis deserved, you got Calvin Austin the third, Anthony Miller.
Isaac
you
Bruce.
Isaac Bruce. And then I think one of the best receiving corps, 2 years ago with Rock Taylor, Demir Blankenship. I mean, you've had some phenomenal college receivers. Now we'll see with those guys if they get an opportunity in the NFL. Still, was on rookie years.
I thought of two things, and it didn't really, it doesn't really go totally with this conversation, but one I thought of was the last couple of years where the Mountain West just had 3 or 4 schools that had a big time number one guy, with Torrey Horton, with Royals, at Utah State. But it was just one guy at each school.
Yeah.
And then I also thought of when UTSA had like 4 guys on the same roster that all ended up kind of splitting up or kind of falling off a little bit, and they had them there.
Transfer get lost on a roster.
Yeah, like they had them there, and it just like never came to fruition. You were like, okay, next year's the year, and then one goes to Ole Miss and one gets hurt. And
another one I had, and it kind of goes along with your point about great quarterbacks, was Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Malachi Corley. Yeah. I mean, they had a bunch of guys. I was going down their list of like, oh yeah, I remember him. But it wasn't, I think it was more just because of the system more than anything.
Yeah.
And the great quarterback play. But that's not a knock against them. But nobody really just like took off the NFL.
Yeah. Well, and Corley's the one that at least leading up to had a really good Senior Bowl, had a good combine, all the things, and everybody got real high on him. But yeah, I agree. I think it's system, and it's not to knock on those guys, and it's not to knock on those quarterbacks. It's why we said for Western Kentucky being part of that QBU conversation, it was like, yeah, dude, if you're a quarterback, you want to throw for a ton of yards, Western Kentucky's a spot to go.
No doubt.
Because every one of them that goes there does it. Any other honorable mentions?
I think that's the most of the ones that I had.
We got any voicemails, Jeff? I had one other thing I wanted to bring up, but
we do not have any voicemails.
Have you seen, just because you and I have not talked off air in a little bit, been busy. You seen this? It's going viral now. The Little League kid or the travel ball kid hits the homer, slams the bat down, and like,
no.
It's gone viral. A lot of commentators are upset because he pimps the hell out of like a walk-off. And he's like 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like 10. They're out there in like the super flashy uniforms. He probably got a $500 bat, and he smacks one, and he doesn't even take a step, and he slams the bat down.
Jeez.
Beats his chest, does a little side hop. And then when he gets around, their coach has a freaking backboard and a rim, and he does a slam dunk celebration.
Are you serious?
Dude, I got to tell you, Jeff, I am still at the very early stages of my kids in sports, but I already can see it even in the Little League. Like we're not in a travel ball environment, and now our Little League is a very serious one. Like it's known to be like same sort of dynamic as travel ball with the parents and all the things. But dude, this thing is a mess, bro.
It is.
And then like I'm watching videos of like 7-year-olds doing 7-on-7 football things, probably paying some outrageous amount of money to be there because some coach swindled them into telling them that college coaches care about that at 7 years old. And there's like, dude, there's more trash talk and celebration than anything. And like there's no fundamentals being taught at all.
Well, they don't care. They don't care about it.
And I think it was Greg Olson, former Carolina Panther, great NFL guy, that he he coaches like youth football and baseball. I think he might have his own like league or something that he's doing. But I think it was him that said like if you're playing more games than you are practicing at that age, you need to find a new team.
I agree.
And if you're winning all your games, you need to find a new team. And if you're losing all of your games, you need to find a new team because it was like you got he was like, I mean, I could go. He's like, I could use my name and go just recruit anybody and win every game. But for what? Like, what's that gonna do for anybody? And man, I don't know. And the fact that it's creeping into football just really, really freaking bugs me. I mean, baseball's always sort of been a little
Yeah, but
bit.
it's
Basketball
gotten
with
so
AAU
much
and stuff
worse.
has been like that. But when you have these, I mean, you have kids playing on 7-on-7 teams that are not their high school team. Like you have a travel 7-on-7 football team called, you know, with Miami Savages or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you watch the, you know, they don't even have O-line play, but then you'll watch like the receivers and the DBs going at it, and there's just like dancing around. The releases off the line are like doing a freaking, you know, merengue dance, and then the DBs are like holding them and snatching them and like and then they celebrate it, and then they film it and they put it on social media as a celebration, and it's we've been talking about this for a number of reasons, but when the NFL product starts to slip, this is why.
Yeah. Well, it starts at that youth age. And they don't teach the fundamentals. Most of these coaches are worried about whether it's baseball, basketball, or football. And there are great organizations out there and great teams, but you got to make sure you do your research and go find them if you're a parent, because a lot of these coaches don't care. They just want the win. They just want to beef up their program so they can charge more. And now all of a sudden we got 10 teams under 10 different age groups under this one brand. And we're trying to maximize this thing. You're seeing all these companies now buy into Game Changer and all these other youth sports organizations because they see, I mean, probably $1 billion industry, to be honest, with the bats and the sliding mitts and the tights and the sleeves and everything that you could possibly imagine. I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Speaking of Game Changer, it's so funny you say that. Like, and I'm guilty of it because I have it and I watch my 9-year-old nephew's baseball games sometimes. And then I'm watching it and I'm just like I'm wanting to watch the kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'm just like, man, you hear the parents. Yeah. My nephew's coach got thrown out of the game by the umpire the other day.
Unreal.
And I was like, now you have a whole nother thing with that, with the coaches and the parents, but also the umpires have gotten soft. They have.
Who would want to do that job?
Well, exactly. Why would you want to do it?
I would.
Dude, I'm telling you, in our league, in our little league, in coach pitch, they were yelling at an umpire who's like a 15-year-old kid. In coach pitch. Yeah. Meanwhile, the coach that's yelling hadn't thrown a strike all game. Can't even throw a strike to his own kids. You know what I'm saying? He's bouncing off the plate. They're hitting batters, throwing from 10 feet away. They're not even throwing from the mound. They're throwing from like right in front of the mound. Can't throw a strike, but we're going to yell at this umpire for not knowing something. Yeah. Or we're going to be like, you know, I want you to be hard on the kids, but like, we're going to be like excessive about the way we're doing this because a 7-year-old, like maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I hate it. So I brought all that up, Jeff, to say maybe we pivot. Maybe we start a travel league focused on development.
I'd have to. Might be honest.
I don't know. But anyway, no voicemails, you said, Jeff?
No voicemails.
We'll cut it short so you can go watch your Warriors, Steph Curry's last hoorah, probably.
He already just went back into the locker room.
Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Tell you what.
You're getting old.
Guys can't stay healthy. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're probably tanking to get a lottery pick. That's probably what they're doing.
Well, they're load managing. This is the same, dude. They're load managing. The turf is bad. All this stuff, everything that modernized these games is like everything that they've done to prevent injury, I think is making people get hurt more.
Feels that way.
Anyway, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Hey, appreciate everybody jumping on the live chat. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe. Click the little bell. That'll tell you when we go live. Make sure you leave a 5-star rating and a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. Also, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Group of Five Guys. Hope you have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. We're out of here.